One last video for the day before bed, because this has been one hell of a day. I started the day in quite a mood, halfway between happy about yesterday and dreading what I did today. And it couldn't have been worse, but it could have been. So I started out today trying to do restorative justice so that the police didn't have to. I'd written my father and stepmother a Christmas card that I delivered late. Typical standard me, on my way to the lovely Church of England church yesterday, where I felt so welcomed amongst the oddballs. And then into the very non-welcoming home I inhabited and was excluded from. Trying to restore a family connection, the last one I've got, the last one I can fight for. Met instantly with hostility, petulance, and complete disdain for what I was doing. Again, I tried to pay with amends, but I don't think they even understand what that word is, what it means. I tried to offer my parents the Relate service, a service that I have enjoyed before, found necessary, because my fight for my children required independent professional intervention, because it's never simple. Relationships are never simple. And I ended up walking away. And then one final stab by Justine made me turn back round and mirror her petulance. She was standing there with her arms folded, head cocked to the side. What the fuck are you on about? Why are you even trying? What is this about? This is just a torrent of abuse. Asking for therapy is not abuse. But they want to be held accountable? No, they don't. They want me to be held accountable for everything in my life. Every single drop. And they want to hold no accountability for anything they've ever done. They said they've known me for 16 years. They can't even fucking count. 28 years of trying with my father and stepmother to try and be loved by one of my parents, because 26 years with my mother trying to make one of my parents love me unconditionally while I'm trying to unconditionally love them. My mother put too many conditions on, the condition being my daughter's mother was more important to support in court than me. It was more important for my mother to tell the courts that she knew I was violent, like she knows me, to say that I was an unfit father. What a fucking hypocrite. Both of them fucking hypocrites, perfect for each other, but what a perfect mess they've made in me. So I get back home, I do what I had to do, which was notify the police that their involvement is actually necessary. I notified them that I made one last ditch attempt at Christmas to give them the gift of forgiveness, but it was thrown back in my face and told, don't bother. No, that's not me. I bother. I'm responsible. And I am fighting for my own restoration, my own recovery, and all they can say that it is a torrent of abuse because they've not read a single word of what I've written. They've just seen it as too much volume. And instead of seeing that volume as I need help, they've taken it as a personal attack. So now it is. Now I fully have to take my father and stepmother to court to show them what justice is, which is ironic because my stepmother works in petty law, civil law, if you want to call it proper. An uncivil servant she most definitely is. And I don't mean that in the backronym way or the backwards way. I actually mean she is an uncivil piece of shit. So I filed the rest of the police report and they've said they're going to investigate. They're also investigating the other thing that happened, the she who shall not be named. I've barely got time for the ASPO order. As a stoic, I need justice. As a stoic, I have the courage to do this. As a stoic, I have wisdom that's been thrown back in my face as though I'm stupid. I kept my temperance, even though I felt like screaming at her, even though I felt like kicking and screaming and being a child and a teenager, just like they think I am. So I contact Relate, or try, and discover they've moved to London. There's barely any services around here for specific crises. In Hampshire, the Rushmore borough in particular, the services, just like when Labour were last in power, are being targeted. Everybody who's too poor, everybody who's struggling too much, everybody who is admitting that since COVID, who the fuck is feeling okay? Even now, a couple of years on, who the fuck? Who the fuck got through that without a scar? If you did, where the fuck were you? What the fuck were you doing? But I found an alternative source. Inclusion, a place I thought was just for druggies. Because that's where I was being directed, and that was why I was being directed there. Because apparently, triple ADS is unforgivable that I might smoke a little bit of weed to calm me down occasionally. going to be talking to my home treatment team tomorrow about quite a few things. If they turn up tomorrow, I don't even know when, because the home treatment team have not been very forthcoming on when the appointments are, apart from the first couple, which were daily, and then trying to move to 2 days, and then 3 days, and then 3 weeks, because Christmas and New Year, they didn't really want to see me, because they think I'm doing well. But Christmas Day, they saw me not doing well. So I contacted the No Wrong Door, part of inclusion. Sounds about right. Every door that I've tried to open this year slammed in my face until I self-sectioned. Technically, I didn't actually sign any paperwork to say that I was under section. I was under my own voluntary safeguarding, protecting myself from my awful set of disorders, whatever the fuck they actually are. And then my day got worse. A neighbour who does some silly things, shall we say, especially when loaded with certain substances, from somebody who says they are her best friend, more like only friend. He's a feeder, but not food. He feeds himself a lot of food, and he used to be an alcoholic. But he's not drinking that much these days. He's doing something far worse. And he spent £80 on her today for himself. And then when the stuff was gone, he abandoned ship. This is a particularly difficult time of year for her, and a worse one is coming up soon. She wasn't doing well. I knew she wasn't doing well. She could do with a smoke rather than I'm going to draw a line there, because you don't need to know. Anybody wise knows what I'm on about. And she crashed. She had a massive fit. She woke up feeling just all shades of shit. She prank called me, and I asked if it was an accidental booty call. She just texted back, sorry. And I knew exactly what. I had to do my job. The job I'm not being paid to do anymore. The job I did for 3 years, and I got 2 months of pay for. SPA, autistic care. Ironically, I might be autistic and ADHD myself. And despite all of the shit I've been through today, I had to switch it all off, go and save a life. When I'm under the home treatment team, a social worker, a care coordinator, freshly out of psychiatric myself, only a month ago, because of that damn job, the mess in my house, is because I struggle to cope with full-time care and being full-time carer. I was doing it professionally, 30 hours a week, and then I was on call 24/7 for 3 years. I got paid £600 for that because our shitty government, the Department for Pricks and Wankers, we're the jobless pricks and wankers, by the way, so uncivil, didn't believe that I had that much time invested in that poor woman who is surrounded by people who drag her down, and I'd be trying to drag her up, trying to tell her that art therapy and music therapy would be perfect for her. Some autistic friends, some people with PTSD, some people who suffer ADHD. Somebody like me, but not just me. Because I also do silly things. And I'm trying to get rid of them out of my life. So she was carted off to hospital, a place she hates. And I told her care coordinator, I told her auntie, I told the paramedics that a friend had abandoned her after feeding her drugs, and then the minute they're gone, he's always gone. And he's always in a rush to finish them. He says he wants a buddy. Well, he wants to be JJ's drug buddy to keep her safe, emulating what I said. Because in the 6 months after I lost my job, I wanted a bit of escapism as well. Yeah, reality hurts when it hits you back. And I knew. And I went as far as I needed to be able to be that non-hypocritical, non-judgmental. It's time to calm down. And I keep getting through. But he, who shall not be named, shall we just call him a rough piece of shit? Every step I make forward, he drags her 10 back. Every step forward, there's another 3 mates on top of that, bringing her back to the pit of despair. Even while ill, even while suffering my own huge breakdown, I'm forced to do the job I was told not to do. I told her I'd respond to life and death situations, and I did. This time there was no fighting. There was only acceptance. And I've sent her a voicemail pleading her to stay in hospital as long as it's necessary. And if she feels like running away, to call me, no matter what time of day, no matter where I am. A friendly voice to remind her the place where I was born, the place where I've cleaned, the place where I've been a patient, and the place where I went psychotically insane for the first time, enjoying that process because I was around people who saw how hard I work and they saw how hard I break down. And then they realised, oh, it's you two. You two are the big story around here. The boy who keeps coming back, and the multi-personalitied woman. The woman who needs 6 to 8 security guards to take her down. Or me. And I leave no bruises. I leave no marks. I protect staff by putting myself at risk because I'm her friend. And I'm the friend of the NHS. If you ever feel like everything's too much, if you ever think you're not worth it, if you ever think that life is pointless and there's no point, what the fuck are we doing here? Please come back to my channel. Look through my art. Know that you're not the only one suffering. Your suffering might be unique, but you're not alone. Not even when doors from the government close, saying you're too ill, you're not ill enough, you're not doing right, you're not easy enough for us to just tick a box and chuck you out the door for good optics. Keep smashing your head against different doors. Metaphorically, I mean, not literally, because that doesn't help. A little tap. Done that a couple of times. The satirical bull, hands behind back like Norito, and just walking slowly up to the door and going, poof. I need to be in here, I'm mental. That's fine, but don't damage yourself or the glass. Trust me, safety glass smashes the wrong way. I know that for other reasons. But my friend is safe. Alive. And I don't know how to keep coping with that. The only way I could cope was to notify the people who care about her that she's in danger. She needs friends who are not like that. And it's why I have to keep walking away from that situation. But my duty of care is always going to keep bringing me back until there is a tragedy. I don't have to do it anymore. But when that day comes, there's one friend down, one left. No family that wants to know. This great community of YouTube has kept me alive for years. Every time I've felt down, depressed, I come and find a bit of beauty on this wonderful platform, as irritating as it can be. The platform isn't the problem. Oh, it can be a problem. But the solution is always to learn something new and beautiful, to listen to something that calms your mind, to watch somebody else struggle to get over a box with a plastic Fisher-Price bit of crap in their hands. All of us human beings, just being. Be yourself. No other fucker's gonna be. Don't let anyone else tell you that you shouldn't be you. especially in times when you're not sure who you are. That's when you find out who you are. And let the pink flow. Team Pink signing out. Hopefully Team Blue tomorrow. My mental health staff actually start realising how the fuck to help me. I know what I need. Accessing it is like a labyrinth. Different people all the time with different ideas on what they think will make me feel better. But I'm already doing 90% of what they suggest. It's just not going to be instant. Art isn't instant. Tidying a whole house post-care breakdown isn't going to be instant, especially when crises happen, when I need distractions. I've been saying to myself for the last year, this place needs tidying up. And immediately after the care ended, I started. But then the breakdown happened. And I'm stuck. I don't know how to actually make this place not a shithole. It's a place I'll happily sort out for those beautiful children I've made. I miss them so heavily. And I hope that my need for justice doesn't hurt them. The maximum for just one of the crimes, for she who shall not be named, is 5 years imprisonment, unlimited fine. I don't want it to affect her, but it will. And I hope the way it affects her is knowing that her dad loves her so deeply that he stayed away to not cause hurt. But there comes a point when all that hurt boils over and I just have to do something about it because I can't sit on my laurels. I just have to do. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know why. This tragedy is what I want my kids to see. Not a tragedy that could have happened tonight if I hadn't built up rapport and trust. Recognition of SBA. Next year is going to be a new world order. Not that crazy fucking bullshit the Nazis dug up and that people keep saying. No, this is going to be a different type of revolution. A revolution of care, compassion, and love for each other. Cosmopolitanism. I'm a citizen of the world, of the United Kingdom, and the world again. Bloody omeprazole is going to be needed. Anyone who is suffering this winter, next winter, any day, feel free to throw a comment. Feel free to ask for help. You can do it on my profile. You can look me up on Instagram if you want a bit more of a chat. I'm happy to WhatsApp anybody truly in need. Get in contact through comments if you just want to talk. Give me a shout on Instagram, even though I don't really use it for social media. Heck, come and find me on Torn. Let's advertise a game I like playing. I sort of help each other rather than stamp on each other. Pull people up, not drag them down. We get better when we're not in a rat race. Let's be more like ants, floating across whatever the fucking lake we are. Let's love each other a bit more. And let's stop doing drugs with each other. They're not sociable. They're highly unsociable. They fuck up your life. They make you feel like shit. Just for a few hour reprieve. It's when it's a few day reprieve. A few month reprieve. Once you get a year's worth of a reprieve, reality's going to be an absolute bitch when it hits you back in the face. We're all allowed to wallow. Not too long though. Put the Stoic affirmations, the daily horoscope, and everyone to task to make us feel better. Maybe I can make some friends through this community that I've been on the outside of for so many years. I've sent some very important people some very, very weird things. I hope Becky Smethurst doesn't feel offended, and neither does Hannah Fry, that my absolute love for what they do. I'm wanting to share my life with them, my ideas, because they're the ones in positions that can actually do something about it. But I don't know who I can approach to fuck money up. We should take China's social credit idea, turn it on its head. Social merits, non-fungible holographic tokens. I'd like to explain how universal basic income should work. We should all be given a basic, like the universal credit card that was posited, kind of like food stamps or milk tokens. A basic income that everybody's entitled to. Everybody gets exactly the same. Instead of the basics in the shops being the cheap shit, they should be the things that this universal, very basic income that everyone gets. All the bog standard normal things that we need day to day. Socks, healthy food, normal clothes and things for work. Rather like food stamps can only be spent on certain things, a governmental credit card that doesn't work on actual credit like today, just a different type of money that can only be spent on keeping yourself alive. On top of that, if you're on benefits like myself at the moment, a small amount of normal money, it can be spent on anything, can be withdrawn, can be handed around, can be lent, whatever. The play money, I want to get a nice new piece of clothing that's not just drab and normal. I want to get something nicer to eat that's not necessarily healthy. Or I want to go and do a trip and have an experience. If you're on benefits, we still should be entitled to a little bit of that. Then if you've got an occupation, a normal, regular income. Again, just like with the social credit thing, a portion of your wages, the same amount as everybody else, no difference there, should also be these milk token type ideas that can only be spent on healthy food, can only be spent on basic items. And then they can earn a little bit more of the basics. The milk token type things should also count to basic utilities, gas, electricity, internet, and to be honest, mobile phone contracts should be a standard thing that you get a minimum amount, and then with your more disposable money, the different side of the holographic token can be used to upgrade your device or your plan. We should never be cut off from the world because we're too poor to pay. Maybe cut off from the higher services your data goes, so you can't do it while roaming, as annoying as that might be. And then a final layer of value. The idea of do the job you can't. Fair enough, that should actually be your career goal. If you've got insecurities, be a security guard. If you're not very social, go and be a social worker. If you're not very, very caring, go and be a carer. If you're shit at looking after yourself, also be a carer. Things you're bad at, go and do as a job. You shouldn't do a job because you're good at it. You should do a job because you're not. Because that's how you learn to be good at something. And those moments when you do something like save a life or make an impact in a community, or you make a difference in somebody else's life, they should be able to go boop and increase your social merit. So even if you haven't got a job and you're surviving on basic income, but you help save a life, or you simply help somebody in need, that they can just give you a thumbs up, well done, a document that goes into a personal ledger, just like NFTs work, crypto works at the moment, just universal, worldwide. You do something good for somebody else, it should be logged and recorded. So it's not as messy as Facebook and Instagram and all that unsocial media. Let's turn that into social value. Rather than showing off how amazing our lives appear when they're really shit behind the doors, why not show off what other people have done and praise it? Why not value the nurses who put themselves at risk every day, the firefighters who put themselves at risk every day, the teachers who don't get paid enough, but they make such a massive difference. And then that way footballers and filmmakers and film stars can still get paid a lot, but just not as stupidly too much that it makes the important people, the people who actually make the world run, feel like they're worthless because they don't get as much, anywhere near as much as somebody who plays a game for a living, whether that's esports, tennis, football, whatever, or being a reality TV star. I don't even think I need to put the unreality TV star. It's already moronic enough. And I'm not going to oxy that one away. Yes, Ahwitten. Let's not do things for ourselves. Anything we do for ourselves, we must do for others. Anything that we would do for others, we should do for ourselves too, and love each other and ourselves, no matter how hard that feels. Merry fucking Christmas.